for watching Numbskull News, and today we're going to talk about the Big 12 versus the ACC private equity. What the hell is private equity? Well, I ran a quick Google search, and this little statement here I like a lot, so I'm going to use it. It's from one of the leading global investment firms, KKR. Private equity strategies generally involve investing in companies that are not publicly traded on the stock exchanges. Private equity fund managers, also known as general partners or GPs, often seek to generate returns by enhancing the performance of their portfolio companies over the course of their holding period. Now, I started with that because private equity, some people see it as the devil. Here comes the devil. It's not the devil. Look how they make money. They have to make money by making the company or institution that they have invested in, they have to make them more valuable. That's what they specialize in. That's what the Big 12 needs. Now, Big 12 versus ACC. I'm making a new playlist, and I'm going to have all my videos stockpiled in there as far as on this topic of the Big 12 versus the ACC, because that's where we're at. Barring any kind of merger or, some kind of a partnership kind of deal, we're rocking and rolling with the Big 12 versus the ACC. We're going to go at it. So, we're starting off with private equity. Now, I already did a Big 12 versus ACC as far as TV ratings are concerned. Already did that. I'll put that in the playlist as well. But it's a new series I'm going to do. So from time to time when I got a good topic with the Big 12 versus ACC, you're going to find it in this playlist. The reason I'm not putting the Big 10 and the SEC into this whole private equity video, because they don't want any part of private equity right now. Maybe down the road, but they're looking to do things on their own. So screw them. We're talking about Big 12 and the ACC. And sorry, but private equity has a big interest in the Big 12. And we know this is because there's been several meetings. There's more meetings to come. They're trying to get involved. The reason they want to get involved in sports is no crap, right? Private equity, they're getting involved in the NBA, involved in the NFL. And they want to get involved in a big way in college sports. And really, live sports is what's propping up the linear model as far as networks go. So incredibly valuable, much sorely needed, especially by linear media partners, but also probably really highly sought after by streamers we've all heard of: Amazon, Apple, Netflix, YouTube, you name it. If you look at something like the NFL and private equity, you got to think about how difficult that is for private equity. First, they have to get approved by the NFL themselves. And once they are approved, they can only invest so much money and only in a handful of teams. They can't invest in the entire, all 32 teams. Not allowed. And then once they do invest in their however many teams they want to invest in, up to a certain point, which I believe is six teams, then they get to sit back and shut the hell up. The NFL is like, shut up. If you don't like it, pull your money out. Bye. That's the position the NFL's in. The Big 10, the SEC, they have all the blue bloods, right? The most valuable conferences. Private equity would love to get involved with them too. It'll be at a higher price, but a potential higher return as well. But why do they want to get involved with the Big 12? We don't have blue bloods here. This, you want to call it tier 2? Call it tier 2. It's fine. We still get really good ratings, really fun football. Definitely not a tier 2 in basketball and baseball, and basketball being the second revenue generator for all the conferences. We're clearly one of the best, if not the best, biggest brand in basketball. But that's not really what's driving realignment. But private equity is going to be a new driver in realignment. I've heard other YouTubers ask the question, you know, where's the return on investment? And I'm sure any fans of mine or other YouTubers out there, you may have seen this guy named Tar Heel in their comments. He usually likes to take a leak all over the Big 12 or a dump, however you want to look at it. And he does, with all his bloviating and BS that he throws out there, he does ask one good relevant question. Why should the Big 12 expand? What is the value of an expanded Big 12? Private equity. Look, you don't have blue bloods, right? You don't. But the content you have is still sought after and highly valuable. All right, this is why ESPN and Fox did the deal with the Big 12. $31.7 million a year per team. I know. It is like half of the SEC. I get it. But that's still a huge investment. This isn't the AAC type of money. This isn't the Mountain West kind of money. This is at a much greater level. How can private equity up the value of the Big 12? Expansion. Expansion. Now, not just with any teams. First off, it's going to have to be ACC teams. Now, I believe private equity would like to get involved with the ACC, but there's a lot of legal crap going on. It's kind of tough to do. First off, I know what you're thinking. Well, hold on. Expansion doesn't just automatically make you more valuable. You're not paying attention. Each one of these programs provides content. So right now, currently, we're at 16 teams. Let's just go nuts. Just for an example. If this was a 32-team conference, insane, right? But let's say 32 teams. That's double the content value you have. And I'm not saying it's content that ESPN and Fox, possibly TNT, or others would really like to have. They have to have it. It's not a want. They don't just want it. They need it. You can't be the worldwide leader, ESPN, and only have the SEC and whatever's left of the ACC. The SEC largely exists in the Eastern time zone and a little bit in the Central time zone. The Big 12 offers East, Central, Mountain, and a little bit of West Coast. Big 12 under the current 16 teams offers really competitive and nice viewership. As far as the TV ratings are concerned, it is there. So follow me, please. If you have an expanded beyond 16 teams of the Big 12, I'm just saying go nuts with 32. Let's just call it 30, okay? I like that's going to make it better. And I'm not saying 30 is going to happen. I'm not saying that at all. Just saying, if you let's say 30 teams with that much content, with a private equity partner helping you negotiate, all right, they are going to demand certain levels of payment from media partners because that's where they're going to get their ROI, the bulk of it, their return on investment. And they're not going to settle for some bullshit number. ESPN just can't at that point say, well, maybe we'll go with another conference when you've already largely absorbed the other conference that's close to equal to us. So you can't just say, hey, kick rocks, because you gotta have games. ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN the Ocho, ESPN Plus, Fox. You see what I'm saying? And if they don't want to pay you, folks, as I said, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, they will shell out huge money. And the thing is, especially with something like Smash Capital, they have connections all over the media landscape. that will help us get paid big time. I'm not saying you're going to make SEC level per school kind of money. I'm not saying that. But 31.7 is going to go way up from there. Why? Because now you got people by the balls because you control so much content that the media companies absolutely need. Content is king for the Big 12. Expansion is necessary. 2031 is not that far away. And yes, Yukon is a big part of that. Because you want to break away the basketball from the football, you have to have brands, big brands. We got nice brands. We got one blue blood in this conference. We got some borderline guys, Houston, Arizona. But you want some established big brands. That's another way to expand this thing and make it more valuable. Yukon is a big piece of that. I would say the whole Big East is. Maybe that's a video for another time. But you see what I'm getting at. And that's why over and over and over again, I have made the case for UNC coming into the Big 12. Now, just logically, I don't see the value of UNC in the SEC or the Big Ten as far as the current media rights money that has to be paid out to them. And that's largely based in football. That makes no sense. Makes plenty of sense in the Big 12. Duke makes huge sense for the Big 12. Because when you're talking expansion, of course, the number one consideration is football. But for the Big 12, basketball is right behind it. It's super important. More so than the SEC. More so than in the Big 10. Basketball is one of the best avenues for us, Big 12, to not just expand, but become more valuable and fully maximize your next media rights deal coming in 2031. So in closing, I think what private equity wants to do, get involved in the Big 12, expand it using ACC teams, and then come 2031, I mean, how many teams are we talking? 20, 24, 26? Don't know. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And now you're way more valuable than you used to be. Now people have to do business with you. ESPN cannot afford to let you go. So when they want to throw, okay, we'll give you 40 per team. Well, our partner, Smash Capital, or whomever, will simply just say no. We'll take this shit to Amazon. We'll take it to Netflix. You're going to have to unask some real money to keep all of these teams happy and the content in your favor. If not, someone else will pay for it. And they will. I know what you're saying. They wouldn't pay for the Pac-12. That's because there was an option of the Big 12 for more reasonable money. Pac-12 is not an option. And at that point, and I'm saying an ACC that has lost Florida State, has lost Clemson, has lost Miami, UNC, Duke, Louisville, Pitt, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, whomever, whatever conglomerate, Syracuse. I'm talking one that may only have a handful of freaking teams left and have been Pac-12'd, essentially. There is no other choices. You got Big Ten, you got the SEC, then you got the Big 12. Big Ten, SEC, blue blood, huge ratings draws. Nice ratings draws with the Big 12, but a shit ton of them. A lot of teams, a lot of content. Oh, that's how you compete with the Big Ten and the SEC. I'm not saying you're going to match them. I'm saying that's how you make yourself more important, and that's how you get that bigger seat at the table when it comes to discussions of the college football playoff or anything else that comes up. You have to make yourself undeniable. People can't just, oh, you're an afterthought. No, no, no. An expanded Big 12, and I'm talking majorly expanded Big 12, you as a media rights company, as corporate sponsorships, as whoever, you can't turn your back on that. It's too much. You can't just not do business with the Big 12. You can't afford it. And private equity can help us make all of that happen. So obviously, I'm on board. Let's go. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.